Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your tropical update for June 22nd. We're currently watching Tropical Storm Bret making its way to the Lesser Antilles, currently right next to the island of Barbados, as well as Tropical Depression 4, formerly Invest 93L, soon to become Tropical Storm Cindy, making its way through the central tropical Atlantic. We'll talk about both of those storms here right now. So first off, severe tropical storm Bret, we can see a very sheared system, all the clouds, all the winds to the north of the storm, and with that, most of the rain. So all the impacts are generally to the north of the center of the storm. Barbados is going to be on the south side of the storm, but just to the south of it. As a result, a tropical storm warning has just been issued for them. As you can see, Bret is right there, making its way near the islands at the moment. And also, I have upgraded the island of Bermuda to a minimal risk of impacts due to Tropical Depression 4, actually. And I'll show you why here now. Here are the European ensemble models. You see Bret making its way into the Caribbean and then dying, perhaps resurrecting, but likely just dying. And then you have Tropical Depression 4 likely to strengthen into a tropical storm, weaken as it goes likely to the north of the Lesser Antilles. It should stay away from them, but we're still keeping an eye on that possibility. And then some models, including some of the European, the HAFS model that I'll show you here in a second, even the GFS models, all show the storm re-strengthening and then going due north into or near Bermuda. And so we're watching Bermuda for potential impacts. As you can see, Bret, not like a classic hurricane, and it's not, but last night, when the hurricane hunters found winds near hurricane force, if not at hurricane force, but they never upgraded Bret to a hurricane. However, they did issue a hurricane watch for the island of St. Lucia. Tropical storm warnings remain in effect for St. Lucia, Dominica, and Martinique. Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines just joined the tropical storm warning from being on tropical storm watches. Also, with the formation of Tropical Depression 4, we have our first year in June where we have two tropical cyclones form in the main development region. If that becomes Cindy, it'll be the first year where we have two tropical storms in the main development region. Either way, a record set there. Winds currently at 65 miles an hour near hurricane force and close enough to maintain that hurricane watch for St. Lucia. And we'll continue to monitor this as it approaches the islands here this evening. It isn't expected to increase in strength, which is the good news. In fact, it's going to decrease in strength continuously for the next 2 or 3 days, probably only 2.5 really. And then after that, the storm will dissipate. Ignore the H-Wharf model yet again with its outlier solution. Again, Bret, here's the recon from Bret. Then you can see it very nearing Barbados. And in fact, really the center is making a very close call with the island of Barbados, which you can kind of see outlined between the plane and the last point on the image there. So it's worth noting. Here's Tropical Depression 4. Again, we have the convection, and then you can kind of see the center off down to the east side of the storm, which is the opposite of Bret. They're basically the two storms are being impacted in different ways. We're expecting 4 to increase into a tropical storm and then weaken into a depression by early next week, and then it could re-strengthen again come the middle of next week. And again, that's why we're watching Bermuda down the line here. So this is what we're looking at, winds only of 35 miles an hour at the moment. We also continue to monitor the Leeward Islands for potential impacts. It's not looking likely at this point, but it's definitely something we need to continue to keep an eye on. As you can see, the tropical storm force earliest arrival time, we could see impacts Saturday night or Sunday to portions of the islands if the trend trends further to the south and closer to the islands. Again, tropical storm strength is really all that we expect with this storm, at least in the near term within the next week or so. Although some models have it die within the week, some models have it increase back up in strength, such as this one, which brings it back to a strong tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane here in about 5 or so days from now as it makes its way towards Bermuda. And that wind field is actually expanding a lot over the past few things. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. We'll continue to monitor Tropical Depression 4, future Tropical Storm Cindy, as well as Bret, as it makes the near miss or potential landfalls to the Lesser Antilles this evening. That's all for now. Chris Dixon, Info Weather Media.